Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 17, Round 4. We are now at the Chinese Grand Prix for our Tier 2 as we continue tonight. And yeah, we head to the industrial capital of the world at this Shanghai International Circuit. Very modern circuit, built quite recently, and a very expensive one to build as well. But yeah, you're joined by me tonight and me alone for now, and I will be your sole commentator. I may be joined later on in the session, but for now it is just me in the commentary box. So yeah, it's great to be back, and as I said, yeah, it's a very interesting track, Shanghai. I think most drivers at least have a small liking for it. It's definitely one that is... It's in the middle for overtaking. There is opportunities. Obviously, you've got the very, very long back straight. But there are a lot of twisty sections as well, which is quite difficult to keep up in that dirty air. So there'll be the things that the drivers will be thinking about tonight. And what will be mainly the difference between their setups as well. Obviously, you don't want to run the extra downforce and lose out on the straights. But you need enough, especially on the rear end, to hold on through that middle sector. So if you didn't catch our Tier 1 race yesterday, it was a fully dry race, and it was a very, very good race in fact. It was Bruno Will that came out with the victory in the end. He had a good battle with Davizin all the way to the end, and it was a big train for the final podium spot all the way down to the final points paying positions. So whether we'll see that again tonight will be an interesting one. I think it will be a very similar situation with, realistically, a lot of people getting stuck in the train and just sort of following along for a while. But we saw a lot of overtakes. As I said, it is one that there are opportunities in the lap to get a move done, but you do have to pick it at the right moments. So it will also be about patience. As we see the first flying lap being set by Pitbull, 29.7, not a bad bank lap from him. As we ride on board with Nuvolari now. He's had a very strong season so far in the Alfa Romeo. Picked up the points in every race so far, and he's still in the hunt for the championship, so I think he'll be content with his season. I think he definitely would have wanted a race victory by now. He's definitely showed that he's got the pace. As you see Martineau going on provisional pole, beating Pitbull with a 29.7 also. So yeah, most drivers should be going on to the soft tyres, as it is a one-stop softs to hards, but if some people are a bit concerned about their tyre wear, they may try and go for the mediums to hards, or do a reverse hards to mediums if they qualify outside the top 10. But joining me in the commentary box is LCR Typhon. Typhon, if you'd like to include your audio, we'll give you a quick interview. So it's been a difficult season for you so far. Not really gone your way in terms of luck and maybe pace in some scenarios. But are you looking to turn it around tonight?
I'm hoping so. Hopefully get a good quality in. Not make many mistakes obviously on the opening lap, which is what's happened obviously in Australia, Bahrain. So we're just hoping for a clean, tidy race. Try and just be patient.
As for this track in general, is it one that you enjoy? Is it one that you can feel your way around and make your way up through the field if it is necessary?
I wouldn't say it's a track that it's suited for my driving style, but if need be, then I will obviously amp it up a little bit to make sure I have the race pace, just to make sure I can actually keep up with obviously the top runners.
And who are you seeing as your main rivals? Who do you think you're going to be battling in this race?
I think my main rivals will be Callum Frampton and STB Maldi.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Typhon. We'll let you get on in this session, and best of luck for the race.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, that was Typhon with an interview. As we said, has a bit of a difficult start to the season. He's definitely got a lot of potential, as we see Mahdi and Kobayashi, I believe, having a bit of a race on the out. Sorry, I think that's Matty. Yeah, it is Matty. Yeah, we've seen the first bank laps come in, and Martino is on top so far. Nagibot is not in for this session, and obviously he is leading the championship, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see who can come out on top in this one. Yeah, so your Tier 2 Championship standings, Nagibot is leading, Enzo is in P2, and Nivellari currently sat in P3. And Matt and Kevin very close behind as well. So it would definitely be those drivers to watch out for to see who can pick up the pieces with one of their main rivals not in the session. At the moment, Nivellari is looking the quickest out of the three that we just mentioned, and the four that we just mentioned even. Enzo as well, not in this session tonight, so we've seen two drivers currently go on a set of mediums, or try and qualify on a set of mediums. They're P6 and P7, both the Red Bull drivers. I don't think the times will be quick enough to put them inside the top 10, but it depends on what tyres the other drivers go on, what strategies they're going to go for in the race. As Tavares as well has just put himself into P3. So a good lap from the Haas driver. And Kobayashi is on his lap now. He goes very wide through fast left-hander. That's going to not do him any favours. And yeah, he seems to be going very, very slowly so far on this lap, so he might not actually have gone for this lap. He might have backed off. That way he's having a few issues on this lap. You see Kevin on a set of mediums. So he's going for mediums to hards by the looks of it. He's not too confident with his tyre wear possibly. He just believes that will be the strongest strategy for him. So yeah, he's up into P6, the fastest of the medium runners. Not a bad lap on the medium tyres actually, 30.6. Obviously Kevin did race in the Tier 1 race yesterday as a reserve. And I think he'll be relatively pleased with how his race ended up in the end. So yeah, he'll be looking to bring that confidence forward and possibly mount himself further forward in the championship. Obviously down in P5 at the moment, but very, very close at the top. I believe he's only 12 points behind Nagibot, who is in the lead, and obviously, as we said, is not in this session. So if any one of those drivers takes home the victory tonight, then they will take the lead in the championship standings. So last time out we saw Nagibot was pretty much the man to beat. As we see VR go P2. Very, very close between those top three drivers. But yeah, Nagibot was very, very quick in Vietnam last week. He took the victory quite dominantly. Matt had a very good drive back through the field as well. He finished in P2. So I think those two will be your ones to watch out for in this session. So we'll go on board with GGT Venom now. Off at the left-hander. He's got Callum Frampton behind him. I'm not sure if Callum's on a lap there. I think he is, so he's not going to be too happy with the McLaren driver. I'm not sure if Venom had backed off his lap. It looked like he just started one and possibly made a mistake somewhere. We'll see if Callum can improve on his lap at all. Comes through the final corner now. And he's run out of ERS over the line, but can he improve? He does slightly. Through 5 attempts, puts himself up into P7. Not quite into the 29s yet. But he's still got time for one more runner in this session. As we see Nivellari now. He will be coming through the final corner. Can he improve on his time and put himself further up the grid? He can. It's another 0.7. And he puts himself into P2 as Martineau does set a faster lap on a 0.5. So he is leading the way at the moment. But Nivellari, very strong lap, puts him into P2. So I'm sure he'll be reasonably happy with that. Also got a new driver in tonight in the Williams, GGT Verstappen. So again, not really sure about his pace. Haven't seen a lot of him. So we'll keep an eye on him in this race. I'm sure he will have some good pace to at least challenge for points. Or even better, he's down in P9 at the moment. So possibly looking to get that final run in. And put himself further up the grid. We see STB Maudi is in P8 currently. Sure he won't be too disappointed with that, but with only a couple of attempts separating him from 6th, I'm sure that's what he'll be aiming for at least. Maudi is on a lap, so keep an eye on him as he comes around the fast right-hander. Very, very tricky to get right. You've got to hang off the throttle as long as possible. Try and keep it tight on the inside, don't drag out on the outside on the marbles. Then obviously the long run down the straight. Braking heavy for the hairpin. Down from about 200 miles an hour to 40. A lot of energy going into the brakes. You see Maudi doesn't quite take the widest line there. As yet he does come into the pits. Doesn't think that lap's good enough, so he will have time for one more run. The Renault driver. As we see Pitbull has just started his lap, but we'll keep an eye on Matt, who is going through the final corner. He has boxed. He's currently on a set of mediums. Whether he'll stick with that, we don't know, but keep an eye on Tavares now as he's the next to cross the line. Going into the hairpin. And I haven't seen if he's up on his time or not, but he's already on the 29.9. This should be his last flying run, so we'll see where it puts him on the grid. It puts him P2, 29.6. So a decent lap, but I think the drivers behind him have got what it takes to push him down, if they can get that clean lap in at the end. Next to cross the line will be Kevin, I believe. And he goes on provisional pole position. So there you go, Kevin setting the pace now. And that should be his final run as well, 29.4. Good lap from the Ferrari driver. See now, can the rest do anything to stop him? Looking as if the drivers are just starting to head out of the pits, or should be just about to head out of the pits. We've only got 2 minutes left in the session. Pitbull is on a lap, and he is a 10th up, so this could put him on the front row if he's had a good final sector. Opens the DRS flap, comes across the line now, and it does. Puts him P2 just behind Kevin with a 29.501. Good luck from him as well. Nivellari and Martineau have just come out for outlaps, so they're going to be very, very close to the line, I think. But yeah, they should make it fine. Kobayashi's just started a lap as well. And I think Typhon is on a lap. Dabe retires from the session. He's down in P14. Not been the session that he would have wanted. See now, it's Typhon coming down the straight. Needs to improve. He hasn't set a representative time at all yet, so can he get himself into the top 10? He comes through the hairpin, look pretty tidy as he comes through the final corner, a little bit wide, doesn't quite hook up the apex. But we'll see where he comes across the line now. He starts in P9 at best. So not a bad lap from the McLaren. We'll have to see what the guys behind him can do, as Pitbull has started his lap and Martineau as well. And it looks as if Pitbull's backed off, unless he is trying to make it to the checker flag. It's going to be very tight. Yeah, he's backed off his lap. I'm not sure he's going to make it anyway. He's got a fuel light on, so he hasn't got a whole lot of fuel left in the tank. So we will watch Martineau, as he looks as to be the main rival for pole position now. Nuvolari will make it to the line to start a lap, as will his teammate Russell. But they should be the final ones across the line. They will. But we will watch Martineau. Yep, Pitbull's into the pits. So he cannot challenge Kevin, but what can Martineau do? Can he put himself at least on the front row here? He's looking strong in last week's race on his debut. And he is a 10th down, so he's going to have a very, very strong final sector if he's going to mount a charge onto pole position here. Nuvolari as well, as we mentioned, is on a lap. We are 46 as well. What can they do? Go on board with Wazzy in this final sector, see if he can hook it up. He's going to have to gain about 2 tenths at least to put himself up, at least onto the front row, but it will be tight for pole position as well. He's come to the final corner now, a little bit wide from the Williams, and he has invalidated his lap. And I think he might have improved there as well, so that's disappointing for him. And Nuvolari is also invalidated. So those two are out of it, and VR46 is matching his time. And he's a 10th up through the middle sector. So I think he is the main challenger now for pole position. We see a Ferrari parked on the inside there. That looks to be Callum Frampton. Oh, and he span! And he span! That was his lap! And he's done it on the curb. And that's his chances in pole position gone. And we see Wazzy now is on a lap and he's a 10th up. So all still to play for with the drivers that are still to go. Matt is on a lap as well, I believe. Is he coming through the final corner? He is. Pushes the line. Only P12 for the Mercedes driver. Disappointing from him. Wazzy still a 10th up. This will put him on the second row unless he can improve with his final sector. I think Kobayashi is back to his lap. He has, so Wazzy will be the last one. Can he get himself any higher up the grid? As we said, he's about 10th up on his lap. Go on board with him again in the final sector. Very tight on the apex. Look clean from the AlphaTauri driver. Well, he's got one more corner to manoeuvre through. A little bit wide. That's going to cost him time, but he's going to come up to the line now. Is he going to improve on his time? He is, and it puts him P5. So he did lose a bit of time in the end. Couldn't quite put himself onto the second row of the grid. But he will start from the third row. So not too bad from the AlphaTauri driver in the end. But that is your grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. Nuvolari quite far down. I think he'll be disappointed with that, as well as Matt as well. He's down in P12. He seemed to try and commit to that medium strategy and then change his mind late on. Went for a lap in the softs and just couldn't quite hook it together. It is FNT Kevin who takes pole position by 300ths, less than 300ths from Pitbull. Martineau as well, only about less than a 10th down on pole position as well. Those three looking very, very quick. Tavares just behind in P4. And as we said, Wazzy puts himself up into P5, Nuvolari P6. VR46, not bad from him. In 7th place, those were the only drivers to get into the 29s, as Kobayashi sits in 8th with a 30.0. Callum Frampton as well, managed to get himself into the top 10, as well as LCR Typhon, I think for the first time this season. And in the end, Danger Man, Russell and Davy not being able to set lap times that they would have wanted, as they will start in the bottom 3 positions on the grid. Yeah, here is your grid as we run through it again. FNT Kevin is on pole. Pitbull will start just behind him. Martineau third. FXBR Tavares will start in fourth. Wazzy in P5. DSP Nevalai will start P6. VR46 will start P7. HCL Kobayashi will start in P8. Callum Frampton P9. LCR Typhon running out of top 10. SB Maudi just missing out on the top 10 in the end, but that gives them free choice of tyres, as well as Matty Banter, GGT Verstappen, GGT Venom, TSR Dangerman, I Russell I, and FXBR Davy will start from the back. Now, the only other thing that we have to think of is at the start of this session, you guys would not have seen it, but the drivers were coming out very, very slowly. All of them, it took about 2 minutes to come out. So, is there rain on the horizon? Not as of yet. It looks dry, at least for the start of this race, and those clouds in the sky. So we'll have to see later on in the session if there is any weather to come, but it is looking unlikely. There's been no wet sessions in the Tier 2 races this season. We've had a lot in the Tier 1 races. I think 3 out of the 4 have had a wet race, or at least parts of it. But yeah, Tier 2 yet to experience any rain conditions. We wait now for the drivers to select their strategies, put on the fuel that they need, and then we'll get started as Typhon is the first one to ready up. But yeah, as we were mentioning, it will be a compromise for these drivers. Obviously, it is a dry race, so for them, it's a bit easier, but you've got to have the compromise in setup between having enough downforce through mainly the middle sector and the first sector as well, and not being too draggy down the straight in the final sector. So you tend to run a lot more rear wing around this track than traditional or for other tracks. See the predicted pit stop strategy at the bottom, but I think we will be seeing one stop softs to hards as the chosen strategy for most of the drivers. And yeah, outside of the top 10, we've got STB Maudi, Matty Banter, and GGT Verstappen and TSR Dangerman. They're all going for the mediums. GGT Venom and FXBR Davy, they are going for hard, so they're going long in that first stint. And Russell will be starting on the softs, so he's looking to get a quick start away, get as many positions as he can from the start. So yeah, Kevin with a quite disappointing race. Last week out in Vietnam, he did win in Bahrain, and he did look very, very dominant. So I think he's looking like your favourite for this one, but Pitbull and Martineau definitely looking to stick with him at least and give him a run for his money. Matt's got a lot of places to gain, to put his title hopes back on. So we see Martineau leaving a big gap from the racing point behind, so I'm sure the stewards will look into that, as well as FXBR Davy as well at the back of the grid. Both of them. But yeah, the midfield battle is going to be very, very interesting in this one. We've got obviously the top 6 looking to possibly stick with each other. Then you've got the likes of Maudi, Typhon, Callum Frampton, HCL Kobayashi. Matt will get involved in the staff and Venom. We're all going to be looking to pick up points in this race, as it is looking like it's going to be a big old scrap like we saw yesterday in the Tier 1 race. The drivers coming up to the grid slots now. Kevin takes his position on pole. Can he get a clean start away as we flick back to Davy? He will be the last man into his grid slot. So there we are. Davy lines up in his grid slot. And we got lights ahead of the drivers. There's 5 lights go on. And it is a bit of a delay on this end again, but it is lights out and away they go. Looks like Martineau's had a very good start at the back. We've already got a driver off, and that looks to be Wazzy. No, it's not Wazzy, sorry. It is VR46. And now on the inside, Martineau around the outside of Pitbull. Kevin's had an awful start at the back. And they're side by side through turn 1, as Martineau's going to look to get the inside line. Great start from the Williams driver. He's going to be battling with Pitbull now. We've got a couple of drivers off. It looks like Matt's been involved in collision, so that's not the start he would have wanted. Maudi's dropped a couple of places, as well as Callum. As now Pitbull is looking to regain the position from Martineau, and he has down the inside, as we see as well. Wazzy making up places from the start. Tavares has dropped down. Typhon's had an incredible start up into P6, so impressive from him. And now around the outside, Wazzy battling Tavares, and he's got the move done, as now Typhon's going to look to get involved on the outside. And he's on the inside, and Tavares is going to get squeezed, and he is looking to get away with that. He looks to be alright. Bit of contact with the McLaren, but as we see, there is an Alfa Romeo off, sorry. That's Russell managing to keep hold of the car, but very nearly losing out there. And Nuvolari's made his way past Tavares now. So Tavares with a very bad start. Typhon's had an absolute incredible start, all the way up into P5 already. Saw Kevin really struggling to get off the line there. Didn't quite catch what happened. As we see Matt in the background, he is finally making his way past a couple of drivers after that torrid start. There's VR46 up the inside, and Callum getting squeezed by Maudi on the apex. Manages to back out of that one without any contact. And yeah, Pitbull leads them away on the first lap. He's got a lot of drivers breathing down his neck now. See Maudi looking to make a move on Verstappen possibly. Is he going to try him on the outside of turn 1? No, he's going to follow him. And yeah, it was a spinner off the start from Davy. I'm not sure if he made contact with somebody, but he was off basically at the start. Oh, as we see Ferrari as well, nearly spinning. Is he off? No, he's managed to catch it. Callum Frampton there. Big moment for him, but he gets away with it. We saw Davy was off on the left hand side, on the right hand side of your screen. He might have been swerving to avoid a slow starter. We saw a bit of glitch yesterday with the lights going out, so I'm not sure if it was another one to do with that. As we see Typhon and Nuvolari battling. Nuvolari's made his way past, but Typhon's not going to give up that easy as he goes round inside now. The fast right hander, they give each other space. Typhon's looking to keep this position as they make a bit of contact. They both seem to get away with it, and Nuvolari now is going to have the straight line speed. As Typhon tucks back into the slipstream, Nuvolari makes a very late move, goes defensive on the McLaren. McLaren's going to have to sit on the outside line, and he has lost the place to the Alfa Romeo. There's a square on the exit as we see Tavares now looking to make a move back past him around the outside of the final corner. That's a good move from the Haas driver, and Typhon is now losing time. After his quick start, he is dropping off the back a little bit, but he's still in this train. See Kobayashi just behind him. Bit of battling going on with VR46 and Verstappen, and VR46 has got his front wing caught on the driver, and he's been half spun. To see if he got any damage from that. He looks to have gotten away with damage, which is good for him. You see Russell already out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane. Yeah, VR6, he's got his front wing stuck on the car ahead, and it just sort of sent him into a half spin. So disappointing from him. He had a disappointing start, and it's just gone from bad to worse really. There's a moment on the curb there as well. And we look down now at Kobayashi. He looks the closest to making a move. And Typhon as well is getting a little bit lost off the back of that Haas driver. So he's going to be a sitting duck down the straight as Kobayashi is in the slipstream. He's going to have superior straight line speed, and there he goes, diving to the inside now. And he is going to outbrake Typhon, gets the move done. He is now up into P7s. They've made a bit of contact on the exit, and that is not helped either of them. As Typhon are trying to go on the outside of the final corner, and they've made a bit of contact again. Very optimistic from Typhon going on the outside there. As, both of these drivers are already on pretty much 0 ERS, so they're really fighting each other. As Typhon's going to go around the outside of turn 1. Can he make that one stick on the dirty line? Make a bit more contact, but Kawajasi gives him the squeeze and gets the move done in the end. He has fallen off the back of Tavares now, so it's not really done either of their races any favours at all. Typhon, after the brilliant start, as we said, is now struggling a little bit. Maybe his tyres already going off. We've seen they were pitting as early as lap 5 in the race yesterday, so softs do go off very, very quickly. As we see, the front train's already starting to pull ahead. Nuvolari can't quite keep on the back of these guys, but he's dragging Tavares along in his own train. CBR 46 making her way past Danger Man. So he's looking to recover after the start blunders. Verstappen now on the back of Venom. Not sure if he's going to go for a move down into the hairpin. He looks a little bit too far back on this occasion, but he needs to start making progress on those medium tyres. Should be around about now that they become a little bit quicker, because Venom nearly runs into the back of his teammate there. So that's not going to help him at all, as he's dropped off the back as well, and he is holding up Verstappen quite badly. We've got a yellow flag, that looks to be for Danger Man. It is, Danger Man has spanned. I think he had contact with VR46 there, and VR is into the pits, so I think those two have come together. It seems to have hurt both of them just as much as Callum Frampton's made his way past GGT Verstappen now. So Verstappen falling back a bit, and now Maudi and Matt are going to look to possibly make a move past him. Martino still leads after his good start. Kevin still sticking with this train. Pitbull is dropping off the back of Martino a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops later on in the race. As he is out of DRS now, Martino is looking like the quickest out of the 3 at the moment. As Nuvolari has caught up to the back of Wazzy as well, he's had some issues. And Tavares falling off the back of him. It looks like Kevin might be going for a move here. He is. He's going to go up the inside at the end of the straight. And Nuvolari as well behind us. Kevin made a bit of contact with the Racing Point as Nuvolari as well has made his way past Wazzy, and they're side by side on the exits. We're keeping an eye on this one as Kevin can't make the move on the Racing Point, as Wazzy is the first one to dive into the pit lane. End of lap 5 as we see Kevin now going for a move again. Up the inside, gets the move this time. Pitbull cannot respond. And Kevin makes his way up into P2 now. He's now going to have to try and chase down the Williams driver in the lead. See Callum as well. He's side by side with Venom. They're going through turn 2 now. And Callum's got the position done, so he's still pushing on those softs. He's got life in that. Now will Venom respond? Down the inside at turn 5 he will. Very, very tight line though. Will Callum get the switch back? He will. They're going to be side by side, but it looks as if Venom's got the move done, and he has. So Callum looking to get past Venom on the hard tyres. They've not quite hit their... they've not quite hit the sweet spot in terms of overall lap time compared to the soft runners. But those softs will be going off now. I expect most of the drivers to be boxing this lap. Martino's really dominating this race now. 2.6 from Kevin. Pitbull still holding on to the back of Kevin. As we see Maudi's looking to make a move now. Can he make his way past GGT Verstappen and Callum Frampton as well? He's made his way past Callum, but can he make it past GGT Verstappen? He's not using his overtake. So it doesn't feel like he's got the move there. 3 wide going into the hairpin. Matt's made his move around the outside. Bit of contact with Callum. He's half span. And it's Matt that wins out in the end and puts himself up into P9. Maudi just got sandwiched in the middle of that as we see the top drivers coming in. Apart from Martino, he stays out. So he feels as if he can go for another lap and he'll get the advantage at the end, as we see now. Matt making his way past Verstappen as well. So Matt's on a charge here. He's still got a lot of work to do. But yeah, that'll be good enough for him, as Wazzy now has come out side by side with Kevin on the exit. So Kevin's had a slow pit stop as well. Yeah, he's now battling with Wazzy. And Pitbull as well has lost out a lot. Wazzy's had a great undercut there. So it's worked out for the AlphaTauri driver, but he now needs to try and stay with Kevin. Let's see what we can do, as Matt is getting close to the back of Venom as well. So yeah, Martino should be in at the end of this lap. He shouldn't stay out for another lap. Those softs will be dead by this stage. So, Matt is going to go for a move on Venom here. Venom goes defensive. These two obviously battling realistically for their own positions further down in the field, as Venom's gone very deep. He's misjudged the braking zone. Martino is into the pits, but Matty gets the move done, and it's also going to let Verstappen past. So Verstappen now past Venom, and Maudi is on the back of these guys as well. Down the straight now, will Venom go for a move? Doesn't look like it, and Maudi's a little bit too far back. But what will be interesting to see is where will Martino come out in this? Has he lost too much time to the guys behind? He looks to be alright. He's lost a bit of time to Kevin. You see Kevin coming through turn 1 now. Yep, he's about 1.4 behind. So he's lost a bit of time, but he's still managed to be out of the DRS range. So that will pay dividends to him at the end of the race with the fresh hard tyres. As long as he can keep this train out of his DRS, but he is on the back of Davi now, who's still to stop in this race. Keep an eye on Maudi. Maudi's looking to make some places up. He's got good pace so far in this session. Looking strong around China. And Matt is looking to pull away from Verstappen now as well. So he's starting to stretch his legs, make up for lost time at the start of the race. Maudi now is going to look to make the move on Venom in the slipstream. Puts a bit of his ERS on. He's very good at saving his ERS, but looks of it, he's still got 70%. And he's up the inside of Venom. I don't think Venom can respond. He's going to go up the inside. Venom's gone for a switchback, back up the inside. And Maudi's going to have to switch back, coming out of the hairpin. Is there anywhere contact? Maudi with a slide on exit. And I'm not sure if either of them got damage there. Venom's going very, very slowly, but yeah, Maudi having a bit of twitch on the exit. Just driving into Venom there. Venom with an optimistic move, to say the least, up the insides. We see Nevillari. Oh, there's someone off in turn 1 as well. Oh, and that's Venom. Venom's off, and he is out. Big crash from the McLaren driver. And we've got a VSC, virtual safety car, is deployed. I'm not sure what happened from the McLaren. He was going at very high speeds through turn 1. And I've been kicked out of the session, so that's fantastic. We will try and get back in as soon as possible. As we saw, the virtual safety car is still out. Yep, so we're just trying to get back in the session now. Yeah, either a big mistake from the McLaren driver or possibly damage from the contact with Maudi. There's someone saying in the chat that Venom's car had a bit of a twitch going into the first corner, so that explains why he was going at such high speeds. Obviously not the chance to slow down at all. So that is unfortunate from the McLaren driver. He was looking quite strong in this session. Yeah, we're back in now. And it looks like Kevin's got past Davi, I believe. Davi as well, not stopped yet. So we've seen Nuvolari up the inside of Tavares. They're going to be side by side through turn 2. Tavares will have the inside line, but will Nuvolari get him on the exit? He won't. Tavares gets better traction. And yeah, he stays in P9. So watch for the guys ahead as well. They will be catching the back of the front guys. Well, they might do by the time they come into the pits. The intervals are not working at the moment, so we can't see the gaps, but it looks to be around about 6 seconds between Maudi and Martineau. Matt is your leader. We'll flick further down the field. Pitbull in the back of this train. He's also got Tavares closing from behind Nuvolari and VR46, who has recovered pretty well in this race. And we'll see Pitbull going to the outside. Davi goes defensive, doesn't want to give this place up. Yep, so Kevin's just set the fastest lap of the race, so he's confirming the pace that he has of 34.3 is very, very good at this stage of the race. So he's looking to make his way back up the field. He's 6 tenths behind Martineau now, which is for provisional P1. Of course, he has got a lot of drivers in this train behind them, which if they pick up the pace, or if Martineau and Kevin start battling, it's going to have a lot of effect on these two. We'll be right on board with Kevin now. As I see TMR Kata in the chat, obviously unable to race tonight, was very unwell in hospital, so yeah, thoughts go out to you. Hope you're all alright, and we hope to see you next week as well for first Dutch Grand Prix. But now we see Kevin on the back of Martineau. He's not using overtake, so he's going to follow him for a bit. As we see Pitbull will be going for the move here on Davi. Davi goes defensive, but he's harvesting ERS. He's not got a lot left, so Pitbull has made the move past. We'll see if Davi goes for a move back down the inside. He thinks about it, doesn't quite go for it up the inside. So we see Nuvolari as well getting very, very close to Tavares. He wants that move. VR46 winning another one from behind as well. Keep an eye on those. They look to be the closest here. You see someone diving into the pits by the looks of it there. It is LCR Typhon, so not very good from him. He wouldn't have wanted to go for another pit stop in this race. So we see VR46 getting very, very close, and Nuvolari as well, trying to make his move again on Tavares. These two having a bit of a race-long battle already. So VR46 is very close behind Nuvolari. Will he go up the inside here? Outbreaks him a bit. Doesn't quite make out at the inside, but VR46 is looking like the quickest out of these guys. At this stage, Martineau closing that gap down to STB Maudi. Those mediums will start to go off at this point. So the pace drop-off will be quite high. It's going to be difficult for those guys on the mediums to make that one stop, mediums to hards work with the pace that they need. It looks as if Kevin's a little bit too far back. Yeah, he's not going for the move. So we'll flip back down here to Tavares. Pitbull made the move last time round. Will Tavares get the move done? Looks like Pitbull's made a move on Wazzy. He has. Tavares has also made his move on Davi, and he's up into P8. So that was quite crucial for his race. He's now going to have to get on the charge, go after Wazzy and Pitbull. And Nuvolari's still stuck behind Davi here, so not good for his race. We've got a yellow flag. That is for TSR Danger Man. He's off at the fast right-hander. He looks to get going again, so no risk of safety car at this stage. And Nuvolari getting close, and he's going to go for a move up the inside, and they're going to make a bit of contact. That was a bit optimistic from Alfa Romeo, and the Davi gets a massive slide on exit. And now VR46 has got the outside line on Nuvolari. He's going to go all the way around the outside. Great move from the Red Bull, but they're still side by side. He hasn't quite got the position yet, and Nuvolari's going to have the inside line for this next sequence of corners, so he holds the position. So Nuvolari very aggressive on the brakes. I think they both gave each other a bit of a squeeze. And Davi on the inside. Oh, not Davi, so VR6, 46 going at the inside. Again, very optimistic from the Red Bull driver. But they both get away with it. VR46 now is going to have a great run on Nuvolari down the straight. He's got no ERS left. Let's see what Nuvolari's got. Nuvolari's got enough to spend, so he should be alright down the straight. Who will be the last of the late breakers at the end of the straight? VR46 pulls to the outside line. He has got ahead of the Alfa Romeo, and he's now going to have the inside line for the next corner. So it looks like he has got the move yet. VR46 has got the move done. As we see the front guys on the mediums, they are boxing already. So they'll be coming in for a set of hards. We'll see where they come out. You see Nuvolari now is going to go for a move back on VR46, round the outside of turn 1, and he's got the move done. These two trading positions, as VR46 is going to look to come back up the inside, but Nuvolari has it covered. And he gets himself up into P6. But yeah, him and Tavares, very aggressive with each other. Not Tavares, sorry. As we see, oh, bit of a squeeze down the inside. VR46 got completely shoved off there. He's going to miss his braking zone, and Nuvolari's going to get back past, and he's span. VR46 is span, he's in the wall. And that's his front wing off. And that is not how he wanted that battle to end out, as we've got a full course safety car. Full course safety car for the debris on track. And that is going to throw a spanner in the works, to say the least. Will anybody pit for a set of mediums? They're around about the point at which they will get to the end. We see Danger Man is in the pits, so he will gain quite a lot from this period. This has brought the likes of Matt, Maudi and Verstappen right back in this. Maudi had a very slow pit stop by the looks of it. He's dropped down to P13. But he will be going to the end on those hards. I don't expect those guys to come into the pit lane, as they're already on fresh tyres and they can get track position. We'll watch what will Martino do. He's off the track. Not sure what's going on with him. But no, they don't box. It looks as if everybody will be staying out. See what this back train does. Matt is into the pits. Callum's into the pits. Jassi's into the pits. We've got VR46 with no front wing. He's into the pits. Verstappen continues. Davi's into the pits. Maudi's into the pits. So yeah, these guys just on the fringes of the points. They haven't got much to lose. They may as well go on the set of mediums and push all the way to the end. We saw Matt with fresh tyres really dominate in that late stage last week in Vietnam. So he's looking to go for a similar strategy here with fresh tyres at the end and just give it his all. He has come out in P8, so this could be very good for Matt. He's got Verstappen ahead of him on a set of fresh hards, but the rest of the guys are on old worn hards. So I think Matt's in a good position here. If he's got the pace, he needs to make his way through the field, but could be a good recovery. Yep, the incident with VR46, Nuvolari, and yeah, it was a bit aggressive from both of them, I think. A bit over optimistic from both of them as well in a couple of instances. So I'm sure the stewards will have a look at all of the incidents over those couple of laps, but I'm not sure if they'll have a lot to say about it. They're both a bit too aggressive, I think. So we've still got a few drivers to catch up to this train, so we've got at least one more lap of the safety car. It may come in at the end of next lap, but I doubt that as well. Maybe, no, it should come in at the end of this lap now that they just started. That's Martineau. He's still your leader from the start, but Kevin has finally made his way back past Pitbull. And the front three is, well, the top five is pretty much the same, just in a different order. Obviously, we see Martineau with a great start. He got up into P1. And Wazzy and Tavares switching positions. Obviously, Verstappen as well has had a good change of fortune. Realistically, he's now on a fresh set of hards, so he has just as much chance in this race as anyone else, as long as he has the pace. It'll be interesting to see those guys on those fresh mediums, what their pace will be like. Can they make it through the field? Obviously there's a lot of them, so they're going to be battling between themselves as well. So it'll be about trying to waste as little time as possible. So yeah, anybody see a safety car is in this lap. The lights go off on the Mercedes AMG. As Martineau now effectively becomes the safety car, he controls the pace. But I think Kevin's going to try and get this position off the start. But he's still got 12 laps in this race to make his move past. As you see, Martineau's really backing the pack up now. Will he drop it early or will he go late? Swerving to get the heat in those tyres. Obviously the hards a lot harder to warm up as well than the mediums, so those guys are going to have an advantage off the restart. As we see someone span there, that's Wazzy. Wazzy is round. So Wazzy span under safety car, and that's put his hopes completely in the bin. He's all the way down in P11. Wazzy still backing the pack up. Not Wazzy, sorry, Martineau. Still backing the pack up. Still backing him up. And finally he's gone. And it's been a good restart from Kevin. He's read him pretty well. As we've got all sorts of carnage going on at the back. We've got Nivellari, who's made his way past Tavares. And they're going to be close into turn one. Pitbull's gone a bit wide. It's going to give Nivellari the incentive to try and make a move here. Nearly made a bit of contact. The front wing of the Alfa Romeo nearly getting swiped off. As Matt already has made positions up. With Wazzy spinning. He's made his way past Verstappen. Callum's also made his way past Verstappen. As now Matt's going to go round the outside of Tavares. Last of the late breakers, he gets the move done around the outside, but Tavares is not going to give that up. But he gets the move done, Matt. Great move from the Mercedes driver. He's already made inroads to the top step off the podium, which is what he's going to be aiming for in this race. He's got the 4 drivers ahead of him, very worn tyres, and he's in the prime position at this point. As Maudi is trying to go up the inside of Kobayashi, we see a bit of lag between those two, and just about got away with that, but Maudi can't get the position off of him. See Typhon on the back of Wazzy on very much fresher tyres, so he's going to be looking to get himself in the points as well. As we see Wazzy's going to try and make a move on Verstappen as well. Verstappen's struggling, possibly not got those tyres warmed up properly. You see Kevin is very close to the back of Martineau. He's looking quick. See a VR46 up the inside. And Tavares has managed to maintain his position. VR46 has made the move on Callum Frampton though. So he's looking to make ground as well after his incident. Still within this race though. He's P7. See Typhon still on the back of Wazzy. He's going to try and go for a move around the outside of turn 1. He's not. Wazzy gives him the squeeze. As we see VR46 and Tavares now battling. And Callum Frampton's going to look to get involved in this as well. So it's going to be a three-way battle for P6. Tavares really struggling in the old tyres. Will VR46 shove up the inside? He won't. Thinks better of it as Typhon's made his way past Wazzy round the outside. Good move from the McLaren driver as Maudi's also made his way past Mercedes, a covered Jassy, and Davi as well, as we see Tavares and VR46 battling yet again. And finally VR46 has got the move done. So he will now look to follow Matt, as Matt is now coming into the back of another lorry. See Callum as well. He's nearly at the back of the Haas driver. Typhon picks up a penalty for warnings. Davi's also made his way past Kobayashi, so he's struggling. Watch further up the field as Matt is going to look to make a move on Nivellari, possibly up the inside at the end of the straight. He's not in overtake mode. Nivellari goes defensive around the outside for Matt. Breaks later than Nivellari. Goes for the switchback move. Positions his car well, but Nivellari gets a great exit as well, so he's going to have the inside line for the final corner. Gives Matt the squeeze. Will Matt go for the move down the straight as we've got DRS finally enabled on lap 19 after the restart, and now Matt's going to go for a move up the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick on Nivellari? Nivellari gives him the space, he's up the inside, they're going to make a bit of contact, but they're all right. Nivellari's going to try and hang it all the way around the outside, as we've got an incident as well. There's someone at the back of the grid. Kobayashi is out, but Matt, he can't make the move on Nivellari, and he's now got VR46 pushing him from behind. Callum Frampton's made his move on Tavares. Will Matt send up the inside? He will! Right down the inside, he's outbroke himself though, and that is going to cost him in this race. That might cost him a position to VR46. It's not, he's just kept ahead. He seems to just outbreak himself. He had the inside line. He's losing time behind Nivellari now. He's really got to make his way past. Typhon trying to make his way up the field as well. He's got past Verstappen. These guys battling it out for... Oh, they're still in this train with Matt always P5. But they are battling for the final points positions at the moment. As VR46 is closest, and he's going to try and make a move on Matty. There's a big wiggle coming through the right hand, and Matt's really dropped off the back of Nivellari. That's going to put him under pressure from the Red Bull driver. He half defends on the inside. VR46 is going to take the inside line at the end of the straight. He's going to outbreak Matt. He's up the inside. Going to get the move done, slow it down he can, but Matt's going to have the outside line, a lot better grip on the outside of that hairpin. And Matt keeps the position for now, as we've got a lot of battling going on behind as well. Verstappen and Typhon, I think, have had a bit of a coming together, but they're still going. Maudi is up into the points at the moment, as VR46 is still looking to make the move past Matt, and he is going to go up the inside at turn 1. Should be an easy move for the Red Bull, but Matt is still up the inside. He chucks it in there, a bit rude from the Mercedes driver. Now they're side by side. VR46 has got the position. Will Matt go back round the outside or dive to the inside? He dives to the inside. Going to go for the same move he went on Nivellari in the fight at the last lap. And he is going to make the move. Can VR46 recover from it? No, Matt's made the position. So he's still battling with VR46. But he has kept ahead of him for now. This is not helping either of their chances at the victory though, as we see Typhon's had an incident. He is round. He is right on the back of the field now. These two are going hammer and tongs as Matt picks up a penalty, so that's not good from the Mercedes driver. His hopes of at least standing on the podium in this race. He's got the pace for it, but again VR46 is just looking quicker at the moment. VR46 is in the slipstream with DRS, but Matt's also got DRS on Nivellari. Doesn't quite get close enough. Nearly hits the back of the Alfa Romeo driver as Typhon spun again in the second sector. Matt's really struggling now. He needs to get past Nivellari. This is crucial for his race, and we've got a spinner. It's VR46, and he's backwards in the wall. and Wazzy as well is going to make a move. I'm not sure what's happening to VR46, seems to spin it on the curb. Wazzy's made his way past Maudi, these two scrapping it out. Maudi on the fresher tyres is going to go up the inside. Turn 1, he was side by side now, coming through turn 2 on the exit. Maudi's going to hold it all the way around the outside, better grip on that line, but Wazzy holds it for now. Will Maudi think about a move up the inside? Goes into overtake mode, looks like he is up the inside at turn 4. And he gets the move done on Wazzy. Great move from the Renault. He is now up into P8. But can he keep ahead of this train behind him now and try and threaten Tavares, who's on those old hard tyres? Kevin's looking to put a bit of pressure on Martineau at the front as well. As we see Callum now taking place for VR46, putting pressure on Matt. Matt, he seems to have dropped his pace a little bit. He was pressuring Navallari a lot, and it looks as if Callum's going to be the aggressor now. Try and make his way on this podium. It's not going to be enough speed down the straight. We've got DRS apart from Navallari. That is oh, as we've got a virtual safety car, that is for VR46. Who's put it in the wall by the looks of it. It was looking like a promising race for him, but it just didn't quite have the luck today. So unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. See who can get the best restart. Mainly looking at this battle for P4 at the moment. As the guys out in front are all in a bit of a train. None of them going for the move at the moment, but we will keep an eye on the gaps. So you've got 3 major trains at the moment. You've got the train for the lead, train from P4 down to P7, and then you've got a little train forming for the final points positions, 8th all the way down to 11th. So yeah, the VSC should be ending very, very soon as we wait for the green flags to wave. And there we go. Green flags are waved, and Callum already thinking about a move up the inside. But he has picked up a penalty from going an unorthodox line on the inside. And Matt is really close to Navallari on this one, so we will watch him as he's going to have to make his move on Navallari now if he wants to get this podium. DRS and overtake. Navallari goes defensive. Matt's going to take the outside line. He may already get him before the braking zone, and he does. He gets the move done finally on the Alfa Romeo driver. So up into P4. Can he now chase down Pitbull? And watch as well. Callum is going to need to make his move on Navallari as soon as possible as well. Tavares is hounding him behind as well. You see Kevin getting very close to Martineau. In to turn 1 and through the whole of the first sector. Pitbull has dropped off the back a little bit of Kevin on the restart. Didn't quite nail the VSC. As Tavares thinks about a move on Callum. I think Matt is a little bit too far back, especially with the penalty that he's got. It's going to be a big ask to. The game will be about 8 seconds in 5 laps. But he could still stand on the podium at this rate, depending on who else has penalties. I think the front 3 are clean of penalties at the moment, but obviously still 5 laps to go. Anything can happen. This battle's calmed down a little bit now. I think we're all trying to just save a bit of fuel, save a bit of ERS, manage the tyres, and just have an all-out battle at the end. As Martineau sets the fastest lap of the race, cementing his pace in this race, 34 flat. And I think that was even faster than Matt on that occasion, so pace from the Williams driver. And FXVR Davi is into the pits. He's not had a very good race in China. Again, another one that hasn't quite had the luck. Nothing's quite gone his way. But he has gone on to a set of softs, so he's looking to get the fastest lap and hope that possibly someone retires, or a couple of people retire. And he may pick up a couple of points still. So, Matt is not pulling away from Nuvolari as of yet, and he is dropping off the back of Pitbull, so I think his charge was halted by the Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo still may get him at this race. Still in DRS, and still keeping up with him. So as Matt pushes now. I don't think he's going to have a chance, realistically, but Pitbull is dropping off the back of Kevin as well. But as we said, the gap between Matt and Pitbull is realistically increasing, as we see Callum making a bit of a mistake on the exit. As Kevin now sets the fastest lap of the race, 1/10 faster than what Martineau set on that last lap, and he is getting close now to Martineau for the lead of this race. Only 4 laps to go, including this one. Tavares as well, looking feisty on the back of Callum. Is he going to go for a move here? He is. He thinks about it up the inside, backs out last minute. So I think the guys on the mediums are starting to fade now. Their pace is starting to drop. As we see Tavares wanting that position on Callum for P6. Kevin's dropped back on this lap quite a lot from Martin. We'll see what their ERS is like. They're very similar. So he's obviously not had a very strong first 2 sectors. So he's managed to keep in the DRS. So there's still opportunities for him. But they're looking slimmer and slimmer the longer the race goes on. I expect these guys to start dumping their battery with 2 laps to go, as they've got enough realistically for 2 very, very fast laps. As we see, Kevin is 4 tenths down on what he did on the previous lap. So still good pace, but a little bit off from what he did. Maybe he used a bit more ERS on that first lap. As you see, Tavares still right in the back of Callum, who is now falling off the back of Nuvolari. So I think these mediums are starting to fade. Matt is closing on Pitbull, but I think it's too little too late at this point. Pitbull looking quite comfortable in P3. He couldn't quite keep with the front 2 guys. Pace wasn't quite there in the final stint. Unless these 2 start battling late on. But I think he will be happy with the podium overall. As you see, Matt is pulling away from Nuvolari a little bit here. And Tavares... Callum Frampton hasn't got DRS on Nuvolari ahead. No, he doesn't, and he's running out of DRS. So this is Tavares' chance, and here he comes in the slipstream. He's using his DRS. Callum goes defensive around the outside for Tavares. Can he make a move around the outside? Next, Callum's going to outbrake him. They're going to go side by side through the heaven. They've made contact. Oh, Callum gave him a squeeze, and that's disastrous for both of their races. But that does promote Maudi into P6. So a great recovery drive from him. He's got 2 laps to go. Can he keep the train behind him? Callum and Tavares coming together. And Callum wants to get past Wazzy now. And possibly get back past Maudi. Put himself where he was. Yeah, that's not good for either of those drivers. I think Tavares was on the outside, so I think he did warrant a little bit more space from Callum. So we don't have the on-board from him, so we don't really see where he was in terms of alongside. But yeah, these two are looking for a strong points haul, as we see Davi setting for us at 33.2. And Martino is still keeping this gap at 9 tenths, around about 9-8 tenths. So he's still got a lot of pace, and he's showing that actually he is one of the best in this this tier 2. Kevin will be gaining on him with the DRS and slipstream. But they're in the straight now, and they'll be heading on to the final lap now, as we see Callum thinking of a move up Wazzy, and he does go up the inside, barges his way past, and he's up into P7 now. Wazzy will not be happy with that one. As we see, Kevin's getting very close here on Wazzy again through the first sector, but he seems to drop off in that middle sector. So we'll see what he can do now on this final lap. He's got plenty of ERS to use. A little bit more than Martino, but he's still got quite a lot as he's using it now. All he needs to do is stick with him in this middle sector and try and get the move done on the straight, as he's using his ERS still on the exit, trying to get a bit of a boost. But this is the closest he has been all race, so is this his opportunity to take the victory? What's behind Wazzy is right on the back of Callum still. Tavares as well in there. Verstappen's got involved in that. But we will keep an eye on these two, as Kevin again has just dropped off the back of Martino. Martino's just really strong in that middle sector. And now he's going to use all the ERS he's got, but I think Martino might have him covered here. Yeah, he's too far back. He's not going to be able to make a move down the end of the straight, so unless Martino makes a big mistake. And it looks to be like they will finish in this order. Kevin gets closer and closer, but can't make the move done. So Martino now will come round the final corner, and he will cross the line, and he will win his first race in STB. It's the 4th different winner in 4 races. Great drive from the Williams driver. He had it covered from the start. Kevin will finish 2nd, Pitbull 3rd, Nuvolari will finish 4th, Matt P5 in the end. STB Maudi with a very strong race, but he will drop down on penalties, down to P7. Wazzy just missing out on P6, Tavares in P8, Verstappen will come home in P9, Callum Frampton taking the final point. Danger Man will finish in P11, and Davi will come down the straight. We will just check the penalties with Maudi and Wazzy. Yeah, so Maudi had 2 penalties. Matt had 2 penalties. And Wazzy was clean. So yeah, the penalties are what cost Maudi in the end, but still a strong result from the Renault driver. Picking up 6 points. So yeah, not bad race at all from him. But that concludes your Chinese Grand Prix. So yep, driver of the day goes to Matt from the game. But chat, if you'd like to vote for your driver of the day, and we'll see what you guys are thinking. I think Wazzy was definitely up there for driver of the day. Very strong drive from him. Got the jump off the start and control from the race. So I think for me, my driver of the day would probably be Wazzy. Not Wazzy, sorry, Martino. Yeah, only in his 2nd race, Martino will take victory here in China. F&T Kevin couldn't quite get him in the end, 4 attempts behind. He will finish P2. Pitbull, strong result from him. He will finish in P3. Nuvolari, P4 in the end. I think he'll be happy with. Matt will finish in P5. I think he'll be disappointed with that overall. Wazzy will finish in P6. Maudi with a strong result in P7. FXBR Tavares could have been a lot better from him. a couple of incidents throughout the race, but he will finish P8. GGT Verstappen will finish P9 on his debut. Callum Frampton, again, involved in a couple of incidents. He drops down to P10. Danger Man just missing out on points, season P11. FXBR Davi was your final finisher. And your non-finishers were VR46, LCR Typhon, HCL Kobayashi, GGT Venom, and I Russell I. So yeah, my driver of the day would go to Martineau. I think he dominated the race, even when the safety car came out. Very similar to Nagybot's drive last week. Nothing really phased him, even Kevin breathing down his neck. Yeah, he's still got the job done. So there won't be many interviews tonight. We'll get in Maudi and Matty. I believe they're the only ones who will be able to have an interview. The ones on the podium do not speak English very well, but I'm sure they're very happy with their results, especially Martineau getting his first win. So I believe we've got Maudi in the party now. So Maudi, if you want to include your audio, just give you a couple questions at the end of the race. Good result, I'd say, in the end. P6 on track, P7 after penalties, which obviously did cost you in the end. Do you feel like there was much more in that, or was it just a well-rounded drive?
I think there was more in that. I think I could have took advantage a bit more of the battling up front with Matty, Nuvolari, but Warzy was quite quick for that to do that. But yeah, I think P6 on track. That's what I was aiming for today. So I'm quite happy, to be fair, with 6th place.
Because we saw you going very long in the first stint, and you were in that train with Matt and mine's gone blank. It was
Verstappen.
Yeah, it was Verstappen on the hards as well. So obviously you all went very long into the race. When the guys behind you started to catch you on those fresh hards, did you still feel as if there would be something in that race? Obviously we saw the safety car come out in the end, but did you still feel that you could catch up to them in the latter stages?
Well, it would have been it would have been tough because they're the quickest drivers in the tier 2, you know, Kevin, Martino, all them. But yeah, I remember Verstappen was quite aggressive in terms of his defending on me. I don't know if that was quite, but he was quite aggressive. So I couldn't really find a way past him. But yeah, the first stint was good, I think.
And just lastly, obviously we've got the first Dutch Grand Prix in STB next week. Obviously Tier 1 first, then Tier 2 the day after. Have you done the track? Are you feeling confident? Are you going to try and bring this momentum forward for the next week?
Netherlands is actually my favourite track this game. So I'm really looking forward to the Netherlands. I think, there's going to be a good surprise from me next week, I think.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that one then. And if there is anything that is guaranteed in a Tier 2 race, it is dry races and a safety car. So I'm sure we'll be seeing those next week again. But yeah, that will be all for tonight. That wraps up our Chinese Grand Prix. Very entertaining race again. China delivered this year round. Obviously missed out last season on the shortened calendar. But yeah, it was a good race here in Tier 2 also. But yeah, that wraps up your race. Martineau takes his first victory in STB, and it's your 4th different winner in Tier 2. So the championship is going to be very, very tight. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week on Monday for the Tier 1 race in Netherlands. We'll see you then.